Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. First of all, if you're new here, I post new book reviews almost every single day, so if you're looking for some reading inspiration or to follow book reviews, then feel free to stick around. Now let's talk about today's book. Today I'm going to be reviewing Québec, a photographic road trip through Canada's beautiful province, and you'll notice right away that I put a sticky note over this big sticker in the middle of this book. That is because I ordered this from another library, and sometimes when I do that, they stick a sticker on the front with all my personal information so they can guarantee that they get their book back, and that kind of covered the front. So I'm going to show you the inside cover instead. As advertised, this is a collection of photography by this Mathieu Dupuis. I do not know if I'm saying that last name correctly, but it will be in the description below. And I was intrigued by this because I'm thinking ahead to 2024 already. I know we're not done with 2023, and Quebec is one of the places that I have not had the opportunity to visit. I live in the United States, so it is quite close by to where I live, at least within reasonable driving distance, but I have not had the opportunity to visit, and I want to next year. I saw this book was something that I could order from another library, and I decided to check it out because I enjoy these like coffee book photograph collection sort of books. I find them very interesting and I enjoy looking at good photography, even though I myself cannot do good photography. I just find it very enjoyable to look at and very impressive when a photographer is able to capture the spirit of a moment in a photograph, and I decided to check this out, give it a read, and maybe give myself some inspiration for where I would like to go next year. The author has divided Quebec, the province, and for those of you who are not familiar, Quebec is a province in the nation of Canada, and it's loosely in the eastern half of the country. Unfortunately, my road trip map that I have behind me on the bookshelf cuts off Canada in this video, so I can't quite show you where it is. But he has divided the province into different regions, and that's how the photographs are divided up as well. So the photographs are each classed by region that he took them in, so they're all together and you could read them as a group. We have Quebec by the Sea, Quebec City and environs, Central Quebec, Northwest Quebec, and Far North Quebec. I personally was going to be very interested in the Northwest Quebec and Far North Quebec. They seem to be very remote areas that are not really accessible, at least easily accessible by road. You usually have to canoe or go by boat or go by plane to reach some of these regions. So I thought those might be the most interesting, but overall I was interested in all of the photographs. The author is also native to Quebec, or he lives currently in Quebec, one of the two, possibly both. And he has worked for National Geographic in the past. So I feel like he has a good sense of the area and he has a lot of personal emotional connection to the places that he photographs, which really comes through in his work. I did want to show you, as always with these photographic collections, a couple of my favorite, well, more than a couple, because the photography was just beautiful. I feel like Quebec has a wealth of natural beauty that I'm really excited to see when I go visit. I also want to visit the cities, of course. Montreal seems like a very, very beautiful place, and that's actually one of the places I hope to go. I'm hoping to go with my sister next year, so I'm excited to visit Montreal and see that beautiful city. But after looking at this book, I really also want to add some of the national parks to my list because they seemed so pretty. The first photograph I just feel like is a great collection or a great selection of color. This was a 2-page one. I feel like he has a particular eye for color. I don't consider myself well versed in photography, but I do enjoy commenting and looking at this as a layperson. So none of this is official art critique by any stretch of the imagination, but these are just the ones that I found most enjoyable. This one on page 90 and 91 shows a woods in winter. Well, I do not live in Canada. I do live in a place that gets quite a bit of snow in the winter, and we have a lot of thick forests where I live, and I have had the opportunity to do things like hiking and snowshoeing in the forest in the winter. And when these trees are covered with fresh snow and you just have this hushed, subdued quality of the world around you, it really is a peaceful and very unique and enjoyable experience. And I felt like I could resonate with this picture. I think I found the winter pictures, or the pictures depicting, or the photographs depicting winter scenes to be the most compelling or interesting to me. They just reminded me of the beautiful winter scenes I experience where I live. So those are the ones that resonated with me the most. Here's two more. Just this one, the coziness of this comes through. It reminds me of being outside and looking into a warm home. Maybe you're coming back from something in the winter. And this one, just that dusting on the trees. Very, very interesting and pretty to me. And also I feel like I had a strong connection to it because it reminds me of a place that I'm already familiar with, that I'm already at home with. Here's another one. Again, I feel like there's not much commentary I can add that's going to change anyone's opinion on this. I'm just showing the ones that were my favorite. I think if you're looking for a beautiful coffee table book, this could be something to pick up. The next couple ones, well, maybe not quite the next ones yet. Here's some more winter ones. I do plan next year to visit Quebec in the summer, fallish, I'm hoping. I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't booked anything. But after looking at all these beautiful winter photography, I almost want to take a winter trip as well. Maybe bring my snowshoes. We have this. I have actually never done downhill skiing. It kind of scares me, to be honest. I feel like I'm definitely going to hurt myself, but I'm always impressed by people who do it. And we'll see, maybe someday it will be for me. But right now I'm a little too hesitant to participate in that activity. Let me know if you do downhill skiing. It just scares me a little bit too much. The next one. I also found the fall photographs very, very beautiful because I think maybe some of the forest types are the same to where I live. I live in the northern half of the United States in the Midwest. So these fall photographs look just like areas that I do hiking and winter walks and fall walks, fall hikes, fall bike rides. And it's just beautiful. I resonate with the photographs. I feel like it reminds me of home, but it's another beautiful part of the world that I'm excited to visit. This makes me want to visit Quebec in the summer, the fall, and the winter. So I think there's a time for every season. I'm very glad I live in a place with seasons. That's just my personal preference. I enjoy the changing seasons, and I feel like as soon as you're done with one season, the next season comes around, giving you plenty of different opportunities to do different recreation activities. I think also what impressed me was the variety within Quebec of the very south, which feels very similar, at least from the photographs, to the climate that I'm used to that far north Quebec, which is very much like Arctic or subarctic, and that's a very different environment from what I've ever experienced. And I feel like maybe taking some time, maybe not next year, but in the future, to really go and explore that region would be very, very interesting and worthwhile. This one captured me as well. I'm sure we've all been there, but after a dark day where there's really dark clouds on the horizon, when the sun comes out and the sun just has this golden hue that contrasts with the dark clouds that are still visible, it's a very unique experience that doesn't happen very often, maybe a few times a year, but I feel like the photographer really captured that feeling in this photograph, and it's kind of a unique situation, so he must have some patience or good luck to capture that moment, and also I just feel like he did a good job with the photograph itself. And the final collection from, here we go again, far north, as we can see, very different from the other parts of Quebec, but that variety is to be expected. It's a very large province. And here for reference is where it is in Quebec, that colored blue part at the top. This is on page 246, 247. This beautiful blue ice. I just love that photograph. I feel like it captured the spirit of it, and learning both the text and the photographs, because each section had some introductory text in addition to the photographs. The additional text was really interesting for this far north Quebec section that he had in the last. This was probably my favorite section to read. I feel like it's an area that's very different even today from the rest of the province. It's a different style of life, it's a different way of living, and it's a different environment, and all of that makes it really interesting to read. It's something that I think very few people actually experience because it takes so much effort to get to that region of the country, and it could be very worthwhile to take a trip up there. This is a very, very good collection. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. It's a beautiful book with tons of beautiful photography. So if you're looking for a coffee table style book to purchase, this would definitely be a great one. I would recommend it, and I'm now even more excited for next year's hopeful trip to Quebec. I hope to visit it. I hope to see the beautiful province and see all these things for myself, even if the photographs that I take are nothing close to what is in this book. If you visited Quebec, if you have anything to say or add about this photography collection, if you own it yourself, please put it in the comments below. I love to receive them. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.